everyone, it's Mrs. Atkinson, and today we are going to be focusing on lesson 13.3, which talks about customary units of weight. So, weight is how heavy something is. If you don't already have your guided notes out, this is what we're going to be using today. If you don't have the guided notes printed out, you can take some notes on a piece of paper or just, write down at least where there are blanks. And we're filling in this, you can fill it in your paper. You should also have out your cheat sheet, your measurement and data sheet that has all of our conversions. Today, we're going to be focusing right here on the weight aspects. And there's something else that I kind of want you to put in here. I wish that this chart had it, and it doesn't, but it does appear on the top of your guided notes. So we already know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And 1 ton, which is a lot, like elephants, cars, like a ton is a lot of weight, equals 2,000 pounds. But it doesn't say how many ounces are in a ton. So I want to add that on here. 1 ton is 32,000 ounces. And we are going to need to use that. So we can kind of just add that to our table right there. All right, good job. All right, so I'm going to put my cheat sheet to the side. I will be using it, but I also have one right at the top of my guided notes. So that's very helpful. So our goal today is to convert customary units of weight. And weight is really how heavy an object is. And we have ounces, which is abbreviated OZ, pounds, which is abbreviated LBS, and tons, which is just a capital T. So those are the abbreviations. I also want to review our memory aids for converting. If we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, we are going to multiply, right? Big, silly monkeys. And if we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we're going to divide. Small babies dancing, right? Okay, so let's get started. And just so you guys know, I know it seems like probably to you like we do more multiplying than dividing. And if that's what you're thinking, you're absolutely right. In fourth grade, we tend to focus on multiplying conversions. When you get to fifth grade, you're going to be doing a lot more with the dividing to find weight, equivalents in measurement. All right, so Mr. Atkinson, he made 14 pounds of pasta. Now that's a lot of pasta. He's probably cooking for a crowd. How many ounces of pasta did he make? All right, so we are going here from a large amount, right? 14 pounds equals blank ounces. We're going from a big number to a small number, so we're going to multiply, right? Bigger to small, we multiply. So now we have to think, well, how many ounces are in a pound? We know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. How do we know that? It says it right up here, right? 16 ounces are in 1 pound. So if I have 14 pounds, I have to multiply 16 times 14 to get the answer. And 16 times 14 is, please solve this on the side of your paper. Did you get 224? If you did, you are correct. Mr. Atkinson made 224 ounces of pasta. That's a lot of pasta. All right, let's try another example here. Mrs. Atkinson, we're now talking about. Mrs. Atkinson's car weighs 2 tons. How many ounces does her car weigh? So we're saying 2 tons equals blank ounces. All right. Well, tons is a very big unit. So we're going from big to small. So we're going to multiply, right? Big, silly monkeys. All right, so we know that there are how many ounces in 1 ton? And if you look up here, 1 ton equals 32,000 ounces. So we have to write that in. 32, it's going to be hard to fit, but 32,000 ounces equal 1 ton. So 32,000 times 2, because remember her car weighed 2 tons, that's where the 2 is coming from, is going to get us the answer. So now we have to figure that out. What is 32,000 times 2? So on the side, we're going to do it. 32,000 times 2. 0, 0, 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. And you might have been able to do that mental math as well. So our answer is 64,000 ounces. Mrs. Atkinson's car weighs 64,000 ounces. Good job. All right, so now we're going to try some examples together. Let's take a look. All right, so you may even notice a pattern emerging for some of this. We know 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. How did I know that? It says it right here, right? 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So if 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, how many pounds does 2 tons equal? Well, I can just double it, right? So that would be 4,000 pounds. And if 2 tons equals 4,000 pounds, how much would 3 tons equal? Well, that would be another 2,000, so it'd be 6,000 pounds. Do you see that pattern? Right, but here we do a jump. Now we go, we're not doing 4 or 5, we're skipping right to 6. But think about it, 6 tons, right, and each is going to be, 6 tons, right, and each ton is 2,000 pounds, so we can do 2,000 times 6. What is 6 times 2? Well, 6 times 2 is 12, right? And then we have to add on our zeros. Or we could have doubled the 3 tons. What about 10 tons? For this one, we would have to do 10 times 2,000. And if we were doing 10 times 2,000, we would get 20,000, right? 10 times 2 is 20, and then we can add on the zeros. For our last question here, it says, how many pounds would 4.5 tons be? All right, we're using the same thing, but now we're saying 4.5 times 2,000. And what does that equal? All right, few things here. 4.5, I would like to convert that to an improper fraction to make it easier to work with. How do I do that? Remember, we get MAD, M-A-D. Multiply, add, denominator. So we're going to multiply. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and we're going to use the same denominator that we already had. So 4.5 as an improper fraction is 9/2. Then we're going to multiply that by 2,000. Since 2,000 is a whole number, we're going to put a 1 under it, right? So we're going to say 2,000 over 1. All right. The next official step is to see if we can make our lives easier by doing some cross-canceling. There's nothing that we can do with the 9 and the 1. That has to stay the way it is. But the 2 and the 2,000, well, we can divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 would be 1. And 2,000 divided by 2 would be 1,000. All right, and now we can just do top times top over bottom times bottom. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. 1 times 1 is 1. And we know that really that just equals 9,000. So 4.5 tons would be 9,000 pounds. And there's your answer. All right, not too bad. Let's try it now when we're converting from pounds to ounces. So 1 pound is how many ounces? If we look up top, we can see 1 pound is 16 ounces. Okay, so if 1 pound is 16 ounces, how many ounces would 2 pounds be? Well, it would be double 16, right? And we might know in our head that 16 plus 16 is 32. Well, so if 2 pounds is 32 ounces, how many ounces would 4 pounds be? We might be able to do this in our head, or we could say to ourselves, we could do 4 times 16 if we wanted to. We could do that. And if we do 4 times 16, 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 4 and plus 2 is 6. So that'd be 64 ounces. And you can see I doubled. 2 times 2 would be 4. So 32 times 2 would be 64. So I might not have needed to work that out the long way if you can see the pattern. Kind of the same thing here. We went from 4 to 8. We doubled it, right? 4 times 2 would be 8. So I could get this by saying 64 times 2 if I want it, just to make it a little easier. And I could get 128 ounces. And if you don't believe me, you could just do 8 times 16 and you would get the same answer. All right, and the last one, 12 pounds equals how many ounces? Well, since there's 16 ounces in 1 pound, we are going to multiply 12 times 16. And let's see what we get. I get 192 ounces. Okay, and the very, very last question, how many ounces would 20 pounds be? So for this, we're multiplying 16 times 20. I'm going to use cliffhanger method. Hang that 0 off the cliff. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So it would be 320 ounces. All right, now we just have some practice problems on the next page. I challenge you right now to pause the video. I challenge you to try all of these on your own. You are going to be doing multiplication for every single one of these problems. There are no divisions. So and then at the end, after you do it all, fast forward my video and see if you get the same answers that I do. And then if you're missing any, I want you to go back and listen to me talking out the problem, and then you'll be able to see where you went wrong or made your mistake. All right, so let's start here. We are going 8 pounds is how many ounces? So the first thing that we might think to ourselves is, well, how many ounces are in a pound, right? And we know that we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so we're going to definitely multiply. And I'm actually going to rip this off because I want my chart to be right here next to me, right? So I need to find out how many ounces are in a pound, right? That's what I need to know here. And I find out here on my chart, 1 pound is 16 ounces. So I like to write that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So if 1 pound is 16 ounces, 8 pounds is going to be 8 times 16. So I'm going to do that over here, 16 times 8. And let's see what we get. 6 times 8 is 48. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 128 ounces. Good job. All right, let's do the next one. We have 15 tons is how many pounds? We're going from a big to a small. We're going to multiply. Well, I know that in 1 ton, there are 2,000 pounds. So in 15 tons, it's going to be 2,000 times 15. And I could do cliffhanger again if I want it. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. So in 15 tons, it's 30,000 3,000 pounds. All right, let's do another one. 3 tons is how many ounces? We're going from a big to a small, multiply. Well, I know that 1 ton is 32,000 ounces. Where did I get that from? Well, it says it right here on my conversion cheat sheet, right? 1 ton is 32,000 ounces. So if 1 ton is 32,000 ounces, how much would 3 tons be? Well, I would have to multiply 32,000 times 3. And I get 96,000. All right. How about 20 pounds? 20 pounds, and we're going to ounces. So bigger to smaller, multiply. I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So 20 pounds would be 16 times 20. I'm going to do cliffhanger method again. Hang that 0 off the cliff. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, giving me 320 ounces. All right, now we're going to try some examples where we have fractions and mixed numbers going on. Okay, again, I know it's a little bit more difficult, but really it's the same thing, same exact thing that we're doing. All right, we're doing tons and pounds. We're going from a bigger to a smaller, multiply, right? Big silly monkeys. So we know that 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So now we're going to multiply 1.5 times 2,000. And I like to change our mixed number into an improper fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. So that would be 3 halves times 2,000. If it's a whole number, then you got to put a 1 under it, right? So now here we have our 2 fractions that we're multiplying together. The first thing that every smart student will do to make their lives easier is check to see if we can do any cross canceling. So the 3 and the 1, have to stay the same. But the 2 and the 2,000, we could divide that. We could divide them both by 2. So if I divide 2 by 2, I get 1. And if I divide 2,000 by 2, I get 1,000. Now I can multiply top times top over bottom times bottom. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. And 1 times 1 is 1. And we know that 3,000, any number really, over a 1 is really just that number. It pushes that 1 down into the ground and leaves itself standing. So our final answer is 3,000 pounds. All right, how about 1.5 pounds is how many ounces? Bigger, smaller, multiply. All right, I know that there's 16 ounces in 1 pound, so I'm going to multiply 1.5 times 16. First, change it into an improper, so that would be 3 halves times 16 over 1. Can I cross cancel anything? I can. I can divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 2 divided by 16, or 16 rather, divided by 2 is 8. 3 times 8 is 24 over 1 equals 24. So 1.5 pounds equals 24 ounces. Here's our next one. We're going from tons to pounds, big, small, multiply. So we have 3.5 tons times, what are we going to multiply by? Well, 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So we're going to multiply by 2,000. Okay. So changing this into an improper, 3 times 2 would be 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 7 halves times 2,000 over 1. All right, can we cross cancel? Yep. And now we can do top times top over bottom times bottom. And our final answer is 7,000 pounds. All right, finally, last question. All right, we are going from big to small. Multiply. We know that there are, in 1 ton, right, 1 ton, there are 32,000 ounces. Okay, 1 ton is 32,000 ounces. So 3.5 tons would be 3.5 times 32,000. Don't worry, we can do this. We got this. All right, same procedure. Let's change this mixed number into an improper fraction. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so we have 7 halves times 32,000 over 1, right? Now, don't be intimidated just because this is a big number. We can do this. And if you think about it, okay, can we cross cancel here? Is there anything that we could divide? Is 32,000 divisible by 2 is really what we need to know. The answer is yes. And if you're not sure, you could always forget about the zeros, right? And just do a little problem over here. So we can say to ourselves, can a 2 go into 32, right? And the answer is yes. 2 goes into 3 1 time. That would be a 2. I needed more paper. Hold on a second. I'll just keep going on this other paper. 3 minus 2 would be 1. Bring down 2. That's 12. 2 goes into 12 6 times. So it goes in 16 times. So that means that I can cross cancel here, and my answer would be 16,000. Now I do top times top over bottom times bottom. So I need to do, I'm going to change my color here just so you can see it clearly. 7 times 16,000, right? And if we do that, let's see, I need to I'm running out of paper here, running out of room. Let's do 16,000 times 7. So 0, 0, 0. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I get 112,000 over 1 times 1 is 1. I forget about that 1, and the answer is 112,000 ounces. And there you have it. I'm going to raise this up so that you can see, hopefully, see all of the answers nicely. Well, you can kind of get a sense of all of the answers right there. All right. Hopefully you did okay. There's one more quick thing that I just want to do. I forgot to start like this, but I wanted to go over the answers from yesterday's assignment. That was the math workbook. So these are, if you want to run right now, grab yesterday's assignment that you did so you can check your answers really quickly. So that was workbook page 689. And these are the answers. So you can pause this video, check your work, and make sure that you're fully understanding things. All right, guys, today your assignment is going to involve going over to, let's see, you're going to watch a 2-minute number rock video. It is a fun one. And then you are going to complete the math workbook page 695, front only. And after that, you're going to go to I Know It and do one assignment. All right, tomorrow we're going to be taking a quiz. It's a short quiz, but just to kind of check in to see how you guys are doing on customary measurement. And then you're going to get to do the best thing ever. I made for you guys a Friday fun choice board, and it has awesome things on it. There's Scratch, there's coding, there's videos to watch, there's like crafty kind of math projects, and you can just do one of them and then you're done with math for the day. And so it can be as easy as watching a simple video and then you're all done. So that'll be some fun and light math for Friday. All right, guys, I hope you have a good day. Thanks for staying until the end of this video. I'm going to give you a secret password. The password today is babies. And if you know the password when I talk to you next, I'm going to be so impressed because that means that you stayed and you watched to the very end of my video. Congratulations. Have a great day, everyone.